you doing? This is Sean McVeigh with Sean's Outdoor Adventures. In this video, I'm going to be testing out some Apeman trail cameras. Now I've got 3 different models here. I'm going to set all 3 of these up and I'm going to just test them out ultimately to help you make a buying decision, like which one's right for you. So I've got the H45, I've got the H40, and the H55. Now there are some slight differences. There's difference in size. One is like all black. We're gonna test these out in camera and video mode. I'm gonna get pictures and videos so we can compare them. What I'm gonna do is get them out of their boxes right now, take a look at them up close, see some similarities, some differences, and then I'm gonna set them up for a week. We're gonna set them out in the wild. I'm gonna put them all in the same place, facing the same direction, and see, you know, how they trigger, what the pictures are like, and then I'll come back and do a conclusion after getting some data from real life pictures out in the wild. Okay, so we have the H55 has the greatest number of megapixels. There's 20 megapixels. These two have 16. If you really want highest resolution, obviously you're gonna lean toward the H55, just a slight, a few dollars more in cost. Okay, just opening the box, obviously you have your hello information there, your getting started type material. And you can obviously look at all this. You have your owner's manual. Let's take, this is the H55. Let's take it out and just take a quick look at it. So you're going to want to remove this protective coating over the sensor screen here. This comes off. Now there is one over the sensor screen down here. I think I'm going to need a pair of scissors to, I might be able to get it. There we go. So there's a protective screen over this. This is going to, you want to take that off to improve the sensitivity of it. I'll also note that this takes a regular SD card. One difference between the H55, the H40 takes a micro SD card. I just want to point that out real quick. So if you already have a whole slew of regular SD cards and you're thinking of getting this miniature one here, you're also going to need to get some micro SD cards to go with it. We clean off these things, get these things off the sensors here, and we open that up and we have, this one's nice in that you don't need as many batteries to run it. And the micro SD card slot is right here in the top. And so as you can see too, our way of controlling it, our buttons are a little different on some of these models. So I'll go through real quick and just show you how we get these started up. Okay, I just grabbed some batteries for these. Now this one, the battery door is a little different for each. So the battery door for the H55 is in the bottom, and you just look at the little minus and plus to know which direction to put the batteries, and you close and latch it this way. Now one thing I want to point out that I noticed right away between the H55 and the H45 and the H40 is the view screen. So on the H45, the view screen is on the side where your camera is as well. So when you open this to set your camera up, you can no longer see what you're pointing at. When you close it, like if the camera's pointing at you and that's where you want the picture to take, you can't really look at that when this is open. With the H55, the camera's on the tree, you can see what you're aiming at. You can kind of see your field of view of what you're going to be taking a picture of. That's really nice. I like that about the H55 over the H45. And as I look over here at the H40, this one also, that when this opens, your field of view, you can't see what you're viewing, basically. So it has a nice little screen here, but it's going to be pointing wherever this window is pointing here, whereas for the H55, that's a nice little feature. So I do like that about the H55. And again, I'm just pointing this type of thing out to help you make a decision of which one you might want to buy if you're looking to get one. And the price of all these is very economical. And you know me, I hunt a lot of public land. So having an economical camera that I'm not going to be real upset if somebody takes is good. This does have you can put Python locks on here, so you can lock it to the tree. However, although you can lock the camera to the tree, there is no lock on here. So like someone could walk up and open this up and take your SD card right on out, or they could just look at your pictures and put the card back. It really depends on who you're dealing with. Well, let's go ahead and set this up. So today is January the 5th, 2020. And it is 3:52 in the afternoon. Hey, there's me, and there's my camera. Here we are. Woohoo! Memory card is missing. I didn't put a memory card in yet. So as far as setting it up, we're already kind of got the basics done. And so this is what I was talking about. Woo, hi. You can kind of see, like if this was on the tree, you could see what you're dealing with. Let me just turn this off for a minute and go get an SD card. Actually, I'll go ahead and set these other two cameras up real quick. So this is the H45. Now this one does have a little lock here, so you could lock this to keep people from just opening up and viewing your SD card. However, this does not have the capability for the Python lock. Now, if you ran a Python lock through here, which you technically could do, this plastic is soft enough that somebody could just snap this off the tree. It wouldn't really protect your camera. Just pointing that out. So as far as if you're setting this up in an area where you're worried about it getting stolen, I would prefer the H55 over here because it has the ability to put a Python lock on it. And the same with the H40. The H40 allows you to install a Python lock as well. But just as with the H55 over here, there's no lock for keeping this part closed. And these are a difference here is this 100% plastic clip to clip it closed, whereas the H55 has the metal and plastic integrated here for clipping it closed. So these are just some differences between the models. So let's power this guy on. Alright, it looks like you must have the SD card in there just to set this model up, so I'm going to set this down for a minute until I get my SD cards out. Playing a little music for you there. Alright, and here's the H40. Let's just take a quick look at this. So I put the batteries in, turn it on, see what happens here. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to have to get the SD cards. Actually, I got the micro SD card right here for this one. This is a 16 gigabyte card. Let me go ahead and put SD cards in and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got the SD card in. Let's try this again. Okay, so this is, as you can see, that's what this camera is viewing here. And let's take a look at the menu. So it comes set to 5 megapixels. If you want to crank that up, obviously you can. I'll crank it up to 16 just so that you can get a feel for that. The mode, so you click OK. Let's go to camera and video. We'll do both. And for video size, we've got it in 1080p, full HD. Picture number, let's just do 1. Video length 10 seconds, interval 30 seconds. Timestamp on, time-lapse off. I'm going to go ahead and format the card since it's the first time using this camera and this card. And so I'm going to turn this one off for the moment and set up the M40. Let's turn this one on. Okay, we're going with English. It is now 2020. Okay, and it is 3:59. I'm going to go ahead and format it. Okay. Alright, so I just held the top button on. Oh, it just went back out. So hold the top button down, brings up the menu, and 30-second delay. Mode, I just scrolled it down to the camera and video. Photo size, let's crank that up to 16. Video, we're going to crank that up to 1080p. Okay, so that one's set. Let's turn this off for a moment. Let's just turn the H55 on. Alright, let's look at the menu. Let's go to mode, 20 megapixel, 1080p for the video resolution, length 10 seconds, that's what the others are set at. Okay, we're good there. Let's see what temperature it's set. Yeah, we want Fahrenheit. I want Fahrenheit. I'll leave the beep on just for now. Format the memory card. Alright, now that the cameras are set, let's just quickly go over the hardware that comes with it. So there is a bracket that you can use to mount it to a post, a tree, whatever, and then the camera will, the threads go right into that. All three cameras have that. So you can use a mounting bracket that comes with it. Each box has a strap for strapping the camera to the tree, and a little cord for connecting to the computer. So each one of them has that same hardware. Okay, so I've set them up. As you can see, the 40 is flashing right now. That probably means it's arming itself. When I turn the other two on, the 45, oh, I'm trying to point with my finger here. The 45, which is the middle one, and then the 55. When I turned them on, the 55 had a blue light blinking, and the 45 had a red light blinking, much like the 40 was right there. So they're probably all armed and ready to go. I'm gonna walk past in front of them, and please excuse the mess. You know, I've got quite a mess over here with just stuff everywhere. Yesterday was my last day of hunting season, so I came in and threw stuff everywhere. But I'm going to walk past the front of these cameras right now with the light on, and we'll be able to analyze. I have it set to take a picture and a video, so I'm walking in front of them. There's no indication that anything has happened. I'm going to walk back right now, so there's no like flashing lights, which is good. Indication that anything has happened. I'm going to walk back right now, so there's no like flashing lights, which is good. So I'm walking in front of them. There's no indication that anything has happened. I'm going to walk back right now. So there's no like flashing lights, which is good. I'm sitting here editing, and the H55 did record, and the video came out the best with the H55. My editing software will not actually recognize the video file and play it. So this is me walking by. I have the audio turned down, but I can hear it. So anyway, I don't know what to tell you. So I won't be able to use the video files, it looks like, from that to give you an example. But I did get this buck here. Is a buck that I passed on last year, and I'm happy he made it through this year, so that's exciting. I'll show you that in a minute from the other two cameras. This is the H55. Took that picture, but I'll show you the video that I got from the other two. And the H40, the smallest one, it only took two video clips, and somehow, even though I set it to the hybrid mode, it only took video. It didn't take any still pictures. All right, let's do the final synopsis here. I apologize while being all dressed up. My kids are sleeping. I got this little window of opportunity before work. So let's start with the 55. First of all, I hung all three cameras on the same tree, so they were pointing at the same direction. And the 55, I feel like, gave me the most crisp image. It triggered on the most. Now I'll also say this: when I went to grab the cameras, I ran from right to left as fast as I could, about 10 yards in front of them, and not one of them triggered. When I came back, I kind of was a slow jog, and then they turned on. But I was just curious because sometimes, if the deer are getting chased by coyote or scared by a hunter or whatever, you'll get pictures of running deer on your cameras. So I was just curious to see if it was going to pick up at high speed. So anyway, the 55, which is the one that points forward, which I like that aspect. I feel like it triggered equally the most. Actually, the 55 and the 45 both triggered equal amount of times. And I was happy to see this buck. I monitored this buck all season. I passed on this buck last year. This year he had really nice long G2s. I am happy that he made it through the hunting season. I hope I have an encounter with him next year. We will see. So the 45 triggered equally as much. And the one thing I did notice about the 45 is when it snowed, again, all three were stacked on, up the same tree. But the 45, I guess with the design, the lens got partially covered from the rain and snow. The other two cameras did not have that happen. All three cameras, the strap was hanging down to the ground. I strapped it on a tree, left it hang there. Normally I wrap it all up so it's not flowing in the wind. But in this situation, I left them hanging, and a lot of ice and stuff got around the bottom of it, so it was really hard to get them out of the clips. So just keep that in mind if that ever becomes an issue, icy conditions. Lastly, we had the Ford H40, and this one, I guess it got. I thought it was on the hybrid setting where it takes both video and picture like the other two. But it ended up only being on the video setting. So you just got to be careful of that. Sometimes when you power them off, if the batteries jiggle loose and you push them back in, it could affect your settings. So you always want to recheck your settings right before, turning it to the on position and walking away. So I learned that in this situation. So this triggered the least amount of times compared to the other two, but it was also the highest on the tree. So perhaps it was a little too high to trigger. So my final synopsis is these two were my favorite, with this one being my absolute favorite for all the reasons I've shared in the video. Image crisp, the screen points forward so you can see what you're pointing at, and all those types of things. It does have the security lock on the back here, but it doesn't have a way to lock it so that anybody that walks up could open this panel and take your SD card or mess your camera up if they wanted to. So just be aware of that. These two had the blackout, so you don't see anything at all when you walk past them in the dark, whereas this one has the red sensors that go off when it's in the dark. But for the money, I think they're all very good cameras. I'm going to put links for all three in the description so you can purchase them if you want. But again, my two personal favorites that came out on top were the 40 and the 55. And the 45 is still good too. It just, these had the edge in my review. So I want to thank you so much for tuning in, and I want to thank all of you who support my channel. Until next time, take care and God bless.